Yo, what's up, you guys? Your boy Ben Mahari here, representing Mahari Nation Sports Podcast. So, boy, I'll tell you, these past 24 hours have been absolutely crazy, especially in light of the news that broke on on Thursday about in regards to the NBA gambling scandal that broke out. And right now, as the investigation continues on, the news continues to keep coming out. Now there's been more players that have been coming out and might have been involved in these kind of gambling games. And obviously, if you read a lot of the descriptions of how these games went, they basically were involved with mafia ran families, basically running these illegalized sporting gambling events with NBA players. And so whether it was current players, former players. I mean, it's really, really bad. Now, the latest player that I've heard that was involved was also Kevin Garnett. Obviously, you guys know who Kevin Garnett is. But basically, what I've been reading through some of the information that Kevin Garnett was involved in one of those gambling events that was sponsored by Chauncey Billups, but he left early. So according to some of the stuff that I've been reading, that he's not being investigated at this particular time, which is a good thing. But this has been really the thing that has been bothering me this whole time. And as I was watching a lot of these college football games, a lot of these sports podcasts that I see on YouTube, I just see ads of gambling companies all over the place. These gambling companies like DraftKings, FanDuel, Caesars Entertainment, you know what I'm saying, BetMGM, even ESPN Bet. I mean, the list goes on and on. These companies have had links with sponsorships with these top sports leagues in America, like the NFL, the NBA, Major League Baseball, NHL, NASCAR, PGA Tour, the WNBA. I mean, it is running rampant because these leagues know that these gambling companies generate billions and billions of dollars. Now, according to some of the stuff that I've been reading, that a lot of these gambling companies do put out notices when cheating or suspected cheating comes out to the forefront, and they have notices or have methods to make sure that no cheating occurs. Now, the one thing that I was very disappointed about in light of this is when Adam Silver was being interviewed during an Amazon Prime telecast when the Celtics took on the Knicks. And the way that Adam Silver answered the question, it felt like as if that he was trying to sideswipe away from the question and not really directly answering the question about why did Terry Rozier in your investigation with the league found nothing, but then the FBI came out and found all sorts of dirt on Rozier, Billups, and Damon Jones, but you found nothing. See, the big problem I'm having with this whole situation is that it feels like Adam Silver is pretty much side swiping this or just trying to put this under the rug. But this is too difficult to put it underneath the rug because it is literally the big sports story of the week. And it couldn't go down as one of the biggest breaking news stories in sports that we've seen in years. Now, in terms of the NBA, in terms of its history with gambling, you can go all the way back towards the 90s, especially with Michael Jordan. Like, Michael Jordan is obsessed with gambling. And he better be thankful he has billions and billions of dollars from his ownership, stake with the Hornets for so many years, because he would have been bankrupt if this were anyone else. But he better be thankful that he has all those sponsorships that he has obtained throughout his time as a basketball player. But not many people have that kind of money that Jordan has. And to be honest with you guys, not many players don't have that kind of deep pockets, except for the superstar level players. So here's my 2 cents of this whole thing. The way that Adam Silver answered that question on Amazon Prime Friday night really just gave me cause to really question if Adam Silver is going to do anything about it, or is he going to be more enforceable in terms of gambling in his league? Because this counters with a societal issue with that people throughout American society have been obsessed with gambling. I mean, you name it. I mean, hell, in boxing, MMA, I mean, gambling is running rampant. Horse racing, forget about it. I mean, sports gambling has been there for centuries. I mean, you could name how many instances where a lot of these gambling situations end up turning violent. And the other problem that I've also seen with this is that when I look at how many, how monopolized these sports gambling companies are in terms of the leagues, shows, pregame shows, and even some of the sport podcasts. For example, like you see, I watch Nightcap on Saturdays and Sundays sometimes. I can see the DraftKings ad on the upper right hand corner of the screen when I'm listening to it on my phone. And then also DraftKings is being sponsored with All the Smoke with Steven Jackson and Matt Barnes. I mean, it's everywhere. Even Gil's Arena also being sponsored by FanDuel or DraftKings. I mean, it's really running rampant. So I don't blame some of these content creators that pretty much don't want to risk their integrity or risk losing what they built on their YouTube platforms, because really these kind of situations this kind of money is very much dirty, dangerous money. And to be honest with you, it's really the way that this is looking now is it looks really, really bad. It looks bad on the league, and it looks bad in terms of a lot of these sports leagues that are being linked at the hip with these sports gambling companies. And the way that this is turning out to be, don't be surprised that a lot of these leagues start like making provisions to make sure that this kind of thing does not happen. But I have my doubts about how Adam Silver is going to approach this. I can't say for Roger Goodell, Rob Manfred, or the NHL commissioner, or even the WNBA commissioner, which right now looks like it's going to be vacant. But at this point right now, Adam Silver is on borrowed time, in my view, in terms of public perception. You got the Kawhi Leonard situation with the tampered contract, paying money underneath the table to circumvent the salary cap. You have the WNBA lockout situation with Kathy Engelberg is going to be forced out because the players just pretty much do not like that woman, and she's pretty much treating them as like garbage shit, right? You got people questioning about the TV deal where you have to basically have a FanDuel subscription to watch many of your games, and you got to have a Amazon Prime subscription or Peacock subscription to watch many NBA games throughout the season. And so literally and then another thing here is that now Adam Silver was delaying expansion in America, but now he wants to add Europe teams to the NBA. And I just look at it like he's looking at things that are not that important. These two issues right here, the Kawhi Leonard situation and this gambling scandal situation, these are the ones that are going to affect his legacy down the line. When David Stern took over as commissioner in 1984, remember, the NBA was coming off the heels of just terrible times in the 70s where drug issues was running rampant, there was no sponsorships, and games were being played on tape delay, and it was not a wildly popular sport internationally. And so David Stern did a lot of different things and presented a different product to these TV networks, and thankfully he had Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, and Michael Jordan to the forefront to really push the league. Otherwise, they would have been falling way behind. More importantly to that, I've seen David Stern put his foot down when it came to the Joe Smith situation, when the Timberwolves tried to pay money underneath the table to circumvent the salary cap. I've seen David Stern put his foot down against racist corporate media that tried to picturize players as, pretended, criminals and all that in the aftermath of the Malice of the Palace with a stupid dress code. I've seen David Stern basically putting his foot down when the Tim Donaghy situation came up. I mean, it's happened before. But my issue with Adam Silver is that he appears to be a person that tried to ignore or sometimes hopes that thing just goes away. But I'm telling you right now, this is a problem that's not going to go away. And people are going to be asking more and more questions. Why you didn't find anything on Terry Rozier the first time? Why you didn't find anything in your internal investigation before the FBI released its information to you? And these are the questions that have to be answered. He has to be upfront about this. He has to be the one to answer these questions and put better enforcement around to make sure that this kind of situation doesn't happen again. But I really, really doubt it so much. I just don't know. I just have doubts that he's going to do anything about it. And as far as the Kawhi Leonard situation concerns, I just have in my gut that he's not going to do anything about it. I just think that they're not going to give him the appropriate punishment that is well deserved. If I was running commissioner, Kawhi would be suspended for 2 years. Steve Ballmer would be banned for 5 years. They would lose 10 future first round picks, literally. And Kawhi Leonard's contract with the Clippers would be voided. That's what I would do. But again, I'm not the commissioner. So we'll find out what's going to happen in terms of those situations in particular. But the point is, guys, is that when I look at these, gambling companies just basically monopolizing sports gambling with these top sports leagues, it's really going to be much of a problem, especially for generations to come, especially for kids that are going to be watching a lot of these games, and they're going to see gambling sites and companies literally on the television screen. And it's not going to be enough for parents to pretty much activate codes or censorship buttons on the television screen to pretty much censorize this while they're watching these games. You're going to have to really be upfront about this and ask yourself this question. Is it worth having to associate with yourself with these gambling companies for the sake and integrity of your sport that you're basically running? If you're Roger Goodell, if you're Adam Silver, Rob Manfred, or any sports commissioner, these are the questions you're going to have to answer. Are you willing to risk the integrity of your prospective sport for keeping your billions and billions of dollars with these gambling companies? These are the questions you're going to have to answer. And the same with the networks too, because they're also linked at the hip as well. Are you going to risk losing your integrity to keep these billions of dollars? Those are the questions you're going to have to answer to. So that's my 2 cents of the situation. So let me know what you think in the comment section below. And with that, I'm out. Peace.